Hello my beautiful hammerheads and welcome back to Black Library Review Part 47, The Arkanauts Oath by Guy Haley. If you want funny Caradron with a lot of beer, guns, Zinchi shenanigans and a very self-centered, basically Hamilcar, Caiaphas Cain or Jack Sparrow kind of protagonist, well, this is your novel. Dracky Flint is so self-centered, he is so full of himself, it is really funny. And Guy Haley knows that this is a comedy piece, which I wasn't really looking forward to, and it took me a while to finish this because I wasn't in the mood for a funny story. As strange as this might sound. However, as soon as I had, and I quote, drunken bearded explosion, this book hooked me for obvious reasons. And the whole thing, Guy Haley must have been really craving a drink while writing the first quarter of the book, because everything was basically beer and beard themed. Beer and beer, this is great. And so the tension was like a good ale. It was dark and foamy or something like that. I can't remember. However, this could have been written by a German beer brewer, and that would have made it probably a little bit better. Oh no, it would have made it bad because the majority of Germans don't know what fun is. But as I've said, this isn't a serious book and it doesn't take itself serious. Guy Haley, in my mind, he used this story just to have fun. Because when you have a Caradron overlord with an exit scene, which is, and I do not kid, is guns blazing like, see ya fellas, and firing into the air, jumping onto his ship. This is so awesome. So if you don't want something serious, this is amazing. But this story, I like Dracky Flint. I wanted to review the first two short stories of him, like with Kato Ezekia. However, I didn't have the time for it, so sorry. But I do recommend to read those as well, like with Kato Ezekia. But it isn't necessary, because every character is being introduced in this novel as well. And you get to know Dracky a bit more with the short stories. That might be the one thing you might want to read those. So yeah, but Dracky, he's full of himself, he's funny, he's hopeful, and he has a very strict moral compass, which I really like. So basically he's a lovable idiot. And the story is, well, his wife left him, but he named the ship he built with her father, Ailsling, which is also the name of his wife, or rather ex-wife. And he gets into a contract. And we know Germans / Caradron love their contracts and they are very strict about it. So his father-in-law comes up to him and says, okay, I will stop sending assassins after you because of what you did to my daughter. He married her. And you will do this job. Because we have this human fire mage. She wants help. And if you do your job right, we're fine. I will forget everything. If you do your job bad, you will die anyway, so I don't care. That's basically the plot line for this, but the real job is this fire mage. Everything plays in Shamon, the realm of metal. Because of course, it's Caradron. In one of her neighboring cities, there is a talisman in a storm vault, which she needs to run a device to basically repel chaos from her home city. So this doesn't sound very hard, and of course there is stuff on the way, some Zinchian mischief, which isn't the focus of the story. And as much as I love Zinch, this was refreshing because, as I've said, this book doesn't take itself seriously, so there is no big thing in the background in which you have to keep your eyes out. So there are no Arkanites, there's no Fate Master or anything like that. So as I've said, refreshing, because we just have this one story. The thing is, it's a storm vault. Again. And for me, we have seen enough storm vaults. As much as I need a bad review on the channel with the novel Storm Vault, I'm sorry, I won't review this one because I've lost my time frame with that. But again, it's a storm vault and everything has to be in a storm vault, and it just gets so tedious when everything is in a storm vault or around a storm vault. We get it. Storm vaults. It's just too much storm vaults. The saving grace for this story is that there is not only Zinch as an enemy, but there is also Grots, which is very, very good because Sky Grots confirmed. And I do love this, and it's not Captain Blackbeard, it's Captain Blackheart for the Grots, which is really, really funny because it's Grots. And the other saving grace is the talisman in itself, which I can't say because that would be a major spoiler. And this whole novel has basically no repercussions on the greater Age of Sigmar story. So there is that. Even though it would be a really great spoiler, I don't want to say what the talisman really is. But the whole book, first of all, the crew is amazing. We have our, of course, regular Arkanauts. But in his crew, there is also an ogre with his custom-made dirigible suit and magnetic boots, and a dispossessed runesmith, which is also really fun because we get to see the interaction between the two Duardin factions, which is very funny because the one doesn't really want to be in the air, the other one doesn't want to be really underground, but we of course get both of these situations. So there is a healthy mix of individuals in this novel. One thing, however, which is a great plus in my book, is that the whole Duardin jargon is explained in somehow editorial notes. So when they are using something on the Duardin language, the editorial note just says Khazidrid for the dispossessed or Caradrid for the Caradron language, because of course of accents or anything like that. And it's just translated to, well, our human language. And sometimes it says better left not translated when they're using the F-bomb, basically. This is something I can't remember, but with the Idoneth Deepkin novel, Court of the Blind King, that was a positive for me, that whenever you know more about the race, that you know what the terminology is. In hindsight, this was bad. For new people, it is always good to know what are they saying. I don't want to have homework to understand a book. So yeah, this was really good. So for the action scenes, they were of course very funny. One of them was reminiscent to A Hunt for Red October, the Tom Clancy Sean Connery movie. basically a submarine-ish part in the Caradron Overlords novel, which is great. I did not expect that. It's very short, but very enjoyable. And yeah, there isn't much to say. This book just made me want to, well, the Black Library Curse, build some Caradron Overlords. Basically Dreki and the Ailsling and some Arkanauts. But yeah, because I got really attached to the characters, which is very good thing. So thank you for that, Mr. Haley. So this is also an easy rating, because for newcomers and for veterans of the Age of Sigmar line. However, before I give this the ultimate rating, it differs from if you are a Caradron fan. This is an 8 out of 10 destroyed talismans in Chamon, a 7 out of 10 if you are not a Caradron fan. It is still very enjoyable. It is a funny book. If you want to laugh, this one is one of the novels you want to read. It doesn't get into these, oh yes, we are Caradron, this is the code. The one thing we fear is taxes, which is also there and is also very funny made. So if you are afraid of it is just a strict novel, don't panic. So yeah, what are your thoughts about this book? Please leave your thoughts and questions in the comment section down below. I am keen to know what you have to say. And while you're down there, do all the YouTube stuff, because hitting buttons is fun. And if you want to support the channel and you don't know what to write, just write Drakeflint in the comments. Have a great day, my friend. Stay fantastic. Stay hydrated. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.